Hello, friends. Today we're going to read the next passage in our reindeer flipbook, and we're going to work on the main idea and details. So we're going to work on the main idea and details of this specific passage, not our whole flipbook. So to get started with, I'm going to look at the title and the picture, and it says Reindeer Herd. And then my title says, How Do Reindeer Travel? Already, by looking at those two things, I can figure out or have a inference about what the main idea is. I'm going to guess it's about how reindeer travel and that they probably travel in herds. But when I read, I really need to look for those repeated words. Let's read together. Did you know that each year reindeer travel farther than any land animal? They migrate in the spring to warmer climates, so their babies, called calves, can be born. Once the calves are old enough to travel in the fall, they all return to their original colder habitat. The trip is around 1,200 miles. Like moose, reindeer are very good swimmers and can cross waterways during their migration. Reindeer live and travel in groups called herds. During migration, small herds can join together to form very large groups. There can be hundreds of thousands of reindeers in those herds. Holy moly. Now, I said that I saw a reindeer herd and how reindeer travel. Do you see any repeated words in our passage? I did too. I heard the word migration or migrate a lot. And travel. So, and a lot of times, and I heard the word herds. A lot of times migration and travel can be used as synonyms. Migration's just a more specific, Miss Lodato has her tongue tied. Migration is a more specific way of travel. Animals migrate when they need to help them adapt to the weather. So now that I did that and I've read migration, travel, herds, and it says how reindeer travel and reindeer herd, what could be the main idea? Yes, I heard reindeer migration or reindeer travel or herds of reindeer travel. So I'm going to put the main idea as reindeer migration. If you want to go ahead and write that too with me, that would be great. And I'll be able to spell that correctly because reindeer's right there and migration's right there. Now that I have my main idea, I am going to look for supporting details. Now I have my highlighter to help me highlight some supporting details. So I know that all my details have to be about reindeer migration. So I love the detail that they move or they migrate so their babies can be born. So that's one detail. And then once their babies are old enough, they travel back. So they return back to their original colder habitat. And this was the most astounding one to me. They can travel up to 1,200 miles. And while they're migrating, they might swim and cross waterways during their migration. So, and we know that they migrate or travel in herds. And sometimes there can be hundreds of thousands of reindeers in these herds while they migrate. So those were some of the specific details I found. So I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to add details. Now when I'm doing a thinking map, I don't have to write a complete sentence, but I have to write enough words that it makes sense. So one detail is they migrate so the babies can be born. So I'm going to write migrate. So, or I'm going to put calves. Calves can be born. That is one of my details, and I found it in the text. And another detail I have is that they migrate in herds, which is just a big group of reindeer, which can be up to hundreds of thousands. That's crazy. All right, now that I've done part of the thinking map with you, I'm going to have you fill in your bottom two details. Now remember, our details are in this text, and all our details need to support reindeer migration. So we can't talk about how a reindeer looks because it's not about their migration. So learners, go ahead back and reread your passage and then add your details. We can't wait to see your flip book when it's finished.